Welcome to Brampton Focus. It's been called one of the longest running musicals in the world. It's all about Jesus Christ, and it's got singing throughout it, not a spoken word. My name is Michael A. Charbon. Next we meet Sharon Vandrish, and she is the musical director of Jesus Christ Superstar, which is coming to the Rose Theatre, right here, next on Brampton Focus. And welcome to Brampton Focus. You know, it was called a rock opera. It started in 1970. It was a show that ran for over 40 years. Andrew Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice actually wrote the very first one, and it's called Jesus Christ Superstar, and it's going to happen at the Rose Theatre, and we're so happy to have the musical director, Ms. Sharon Vandrish, here with us, and as well Mr. Stephen Batello, who is the director of the Youth Kids Troupe, and they're doing a show called Beauty and the Beast, all from the Brampton Theatre. Thank you so much for joining us, both of you. Sharon, I want to go right to you first and congratulate you. You won an ATCO Award, which is the Association of Community Theatres of Central Ontario, for Les Miserables, and I got to tell you, I saw Les Miserables at the Rose Theatre. I've seen the Mervish productions downtown, millions and millions of dollars spent on that. And if you had the pleasure, and you had the real pleasure to see what Les Miserables was at the Rose Theatre, my compliments to you, Sharon. It was absolutely fantastic.
Thank you very much.
I mean, truly. There was also the amount of winners and nominations for Les Mis was tremendous. But we're here to talk about Jesus Christ Superstar. We're going to have one of the stars of that in our final segment. But when you talk about theater, you got to talk about getting our youth involved. There's so many statistics that say people who have been exposed to music and theater, their kids grow up to be great. And Stephen, as the director of the Youth Kids Troupe, you're doing a show, Beauty and the Beast, which is coming up in May. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
So tell us a little bit about how do youth get involved? Is it a youth chorus? Tell us a little bit about Beauty and the Beast.
With Brampton Music Theatre, we have our own special program for our youth. It's called Brampton Youth Troupe, and we have our classes every Saturday morning. We teach them here at St. Thomas Aquinas High School every Saturday morning. And if kids want to get involved in theater, if they're not even sure how to even get involved in that, they can contact Brampton. And we have an array of qualified teachers that teach the students music, dance, acting, and the whole variety of theater in itself, and to prep them for main stage, I guess you can say.
Well, there's two kinds of parents out there right now. One says, geez, I wish my kid could do that. And another one says, oh, my kid would be perfect for it. So you have to handle, there's the stage mothers and the non-stage mother. Well, what kind of advice would you give, first of all, to the non-stage mother? What's the possibility of her child having a chance at this?
Every child has a chance. There's no such thing as, my child deserves it better than you. Even if the child has a triple threat, if one child says, you know what, I'm not sure what this is about, I would like to try, we give everyone a chance to come in, show them what you got, and we also teach them everything they need to learn. So I recommend it to anyone who wants to at least see what we're about and what we have to offer.
And there has been statistics that said that any child that has been touched by music and or theater, that it gives them self-confidence. It gives them a feeling of being self-assured and creativity. What have you seen the changes in some of the kids who have gone through your program?
Oh, it's a huge change of self-expression. The confidence you see in these children coming in from the first day, not even looking at you, not realizing, ooh, I don't know if I can do this. And then the last day, they're just jumping around and realizing, I can't believe I did that. So I think it's this inner feeling of wanting, but not sure how to go by doing that we can bring it out of them. And I think that's what's amazing about this program.
So Sharon, as an award-winning musical director and someone who's been in charge of so many successful productions, basically the youth theaters like the Marleys to the Leafs, like this is the training ground, right? You're the official supplier to Brampton Music Theatre. Who have you seen that has come through the ranks?
Actually, there's a very prominent student who was part of the youth troupe Saturday classes, who went on actually to be in Kinky Boots here in Toronto.
Oh yeah.
So Caden is his name, but we're not really expecting to make stars out of everyone. But as you say, you've pointed out, Our mission is really affordable arts education for kids in Brampton and our community, where they can get qualified teachers instructing them in music, dance, and drama. They can participate in a showcase, and if they want to go a little bit further and audition for the youth troupe program production itself, then they have an extended opportunity to participate and get on stage and show us what they've got.
Now, Beauty and the Beast is so close to the heart to so many kids, and if there's many parents too which have come to appreciate that. How are you positioning that with the youth troupe? How are they doing the interplay as far as that's concerned?
Well, I'm very much a traditionalist. So
Yeah.
when I do a show, especially like Beauty and the Beast, which is iconic to, I guess, all Disney lovers out there, I like to bring what we love to the stage. So what we know, I'm not changing pretty much anything that
Right.
we're used to, but I tell the kids it's a Disney cartoon, pretty much an animation show coming to life. So I want them to just be silly, and I tell them, step out of your box, step out of your comfort zone. What can you bring? Who are the character you're playing? And just have fun while doing it. And when I give them that freedom, it's just crazy the change you see in them, knowing that, hey, I can do this myself, you know? So I don't limit them to what they can do. I just ask them, do what you think you can do. And that's where the amazingness happens.
It's words like that that are so important, is to be able to motivate and to be able to find that little gem in that child that you may have never seen before or ever thought that was in him or her. What is the hardest thing for a child to break, if you wish, to get on stage? Is it the fear? Is it being judged? Is it being embarrassed? What is it?
I think it's a combination of all three, you know, because there's so many aspects out there that can limit a child. And I let them know, like, you know what? If you think you have that in you, then do what you feel comfortable. Like, I won't ask you to do anything that you don't feel comfortable doing. But I know, again, if I say, what do you want to do? That's when they bring it up in themselves. So.
I think we provide, sorry to interrupt,
No.
a safe place for kids to
Right.
express themselves where it's okay. And, you know, they might not necessarily always fit in a regular school environment, but when they're here in our youth troupe, they're given permission to experiment and try new things. And we really think that that's what helps build their confidence.
Well, in a safe situation, that's so important. Stephen, let's give you just 1 second. Tell our folks where they can get in touch with you. And for those who may not be able to participate, they'd probably love to attend this. So tell our folks at home.
Right.
How they
Well,
can.
if you'd love to come see the show, we'd love to have you. It's playing May 6th and 7th at Lester B. Pearson Theatre here in Brampton. And if you have any questions about the program, if you want to maybe bring your child along, see what we have to offer, you can write us at info@bramptonmusictheatre.com or check us out at bramptonmusictheatre.com, and all our information is there for you that we have.
Stephen Botello, he's the director of the Youth Kids Troupe for Beauty and the Beast, May 6th and 7th at the Lester B. Pearson. We're talking about Jesus Christ Superstar. We've got Sharon Vandrish here, who's the musical director. Coming up in our next segment, we're going to talk to Karen Walker. Karen's the vice president of Brampton Music Theatre, and they've won a lot of awards. They're actually casting for Mindbreak.
West Side Story.
West Side Story. Sorry, Mindbreak. West Side Story. When we come back, we'll meet Karen Walker. My name's Michael A. Charbon. You're watching Brampton Focus. Be back right after this. Welcome back to Brampton Focus. Our focus today is Jesus Christ Superstar, which is coming to the Rose Theatre. But more importantly, we want to talk a little bit about the Brampton Theatre Organization. And joining us now is Miss Karen Walker, right beside me. She's the Vice President of the Brampton Music Theatre. And as well, Sharon Vandrish continues to join us. She's the Musical Director. Karen, welcome. And I wanted to first of all congratulate you and your organization. The Association of Community Theatre of Central Ontario awarded the Brampton Music Theatre. They're the winner of the Best Music Direction, the winner of the Best Production, Les Miserables. And you've got so many nominations: Best Direction, Best Set, Best Costume, Best Pairing. I mean, the amount of accolades that go towards your group is something that the people of Brampton should be made aware of. And because Jesus Christ Superstar is coming up, another epic production with Sharon, of course, being the guiding light, you must be thrilled, because there's a very good potential there's going to be more awards down the road for you guys.
Yes, we're very excited about this show. It's with the same artistic team that did Les Miserables. And so far in rehearsals, it's going to be the same very emotional type of production that Les Mis was.
I mean, when you look at Jesus Christ Superstar, it's been done all around the world. I mean, it was even done in Rome, live, in surround to 74,000 people. So you think of the history. I mean, this show's been around for over 40 years, and it takes a huge amount of organization. And when you compare that to the organization and what you had to accomplish with Les Miserables and the accolades that you've got, this is just bound to be absolutely tremendous. Tremendous.
Yes, we've got some amazing talent in this show, much as we did with Les Miserables. Chris Ning, who you will meet shortly as well,
who plays Judas, by the way.
Playing Judas is fabulous. Malachi Fox, who was actually our Jean Valjean in Les Mis, is our Jesus in this show. The two of them are just fabulous.
I interviewed Malachi. He is absolutely incredible. Malachi Fox is one I couldn't pronounce his name when I first interviewed him. He did one of when you say the word cookie to a cat and it goes. So I pronounced his name wrong, but fabulous guy. He was Jean Valjean, and he was nominated for Best Pairing, actually, with John DePinto as Javert. So again, you're continuing that train of excellence. Now, there's been some interesting development, and I thought, Sharon, you'd share this with us, with regards to the Rose Theatre and the Brampton Music Theatre. There's been a development as you're moving forward with your productions. It's actually some very exciting news.
Yes, actually, for the first time, Rose Theatre Presents is going to be doing a co-pro with Brampton Music Theatre for our upcoming production of West Side Story. What that means actually is we'll be part of the Rose Theatre Presents series. It will be sold at the subscription night at the Rose Theatre, and they're actually getting on board and helping us promote and sell tickets for our show, as well as sponsoring some of our costs. So we're finally working together with the city, and we're very excited about it.
When you look at a facility like the Rose Theatre, which is a top-notch professional facility, and you look at the productions, Les Miserables, Jesus Christ Superstar, West Side Story. We even talked to one of your Mr. Botello from the youth. It is such a compliment to the people of Brampton to have both your organization and the Rose Theatre. What are some of the things that you feel the people of Brampton should be taking more advantage of this special situation?
I think it's great that they can actually come and see top-notch shows without having to pay to go and watch the same type of thing in downtown Toronto, where you have to not only pay for the gas money to get down there, but pay for parking. It's an expensive venture out. Tickets are far more expensive. You can come and see a show in Brampton that's the same entertainment quality without having to head downtown.
Well, when Sharon and I were speaking, I had the opportunity to see Les Miserables. I had beautiful seats in the Rose Theatre. And I also saw Les Mis downtown at the Mirvish location, and millions of dollars that the Mirvishes had spent. And when you look at the quality of sets and the awards, etc., the value of your ticket for the Rose Theatre is bar none, it's a steal. It really is a steal. Now, huge budgets, takes a lot of organization. Tell us a little bit about, with regards to Jesus Christ Superstar, what are some of the budgets and how many people, and it's a live band or orchestra, I should say?
Absolutely. Our budgets are just under $100,000 per show now that we're at the theater for a 2-week run. We have approximately just under 50 people in the cast, but if you add the crew, we have a 18-piece orchestra, we have everyone backstage. It's really, it takes a village is sort of our line where we just know, and everybody is volunteering their time and contributing to the community and the experience. And it's just an excellent opportunity for us all to pull together, but we can't do it without all the little pieces. So we're just one and two people in the puzzle that brings
you guys are really important in that puzzle. And again, I encourage you, with a live orchestra, a fully live orchestra, live theater is something you can't replicate. I mean, we're so immune to TV and touching all the buttons when you're really there. I wanted, Karen, is there something that the community can give to you? Is there something that you, as a VP of the Brampton Theatre, is there something that we can do? Is there something that you're looking for? How can we help?
Come out and see these shows. I mean, really, until you've experienced it, you don't really know what you're missing. There's been a lot of feedback, especially with the last few shows where we've had really big productions, and people are just amazed at the talent that comes out to perform in these shows, because we really do get some amazing people that come out, and they come from far and wide. It's not like everyone that's in the production is just residents of Brampton. We have people that are in Burlington and Toronto and all over the place that, you know, come to be part of our shows.
And what are ticket prices? Just ballparks.
They're from $28 to $35.
How can you not have a good night out for 20 or 35
Exactly.
bucks?
Yeah.
And I mean, the amount of time that you guys rehearse, just about 30 seconds left. Give our folks some, I mean, the rehearsal times and the dedication that these people are putting towards it.
10 hours a week starting in January until opening March 31st, and additional orchestra rehearsals as well on top of that, and huge amount of work that goes behind the scenes.
And West Side Story is casting. When's that happening?
Probably May.
So May, if you're interested in West Side Story, another one, a great musical. That's something we should have. Very good. Karen Walker, thank you so much for being here. Coming up next, you got to check this out. Chris Ning is here, and Chris is Judas, and he is, other than Jesus Christ himself, he is the guy that you want to watch in Jesus Christ Superstar. You're watching Brampton Focus. My name is Michael A. Charbon. Back with more and Judas from Jesus Christ Superstar right after this. It opened in 1971 in Broadway. Andrew Lloyd Webber and Mr. Rice put it together. In 1972, it opened in London. It's been featured in Stockholm. As I said earlier, 74,000 people in the round. Paris, Australia. In 1974, it was actually featured in Mexico, and it was the first Spanish adaptation, and it was called Jesus Cristo Super Estrella. We're talking about Jesus Christ Superstar, and it's going to be at the Rose Theatre. It's going to be there March 31st, April 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and 7, 8, and 9. You've got to go and see this. I'm telling you, live orchestra, a huge set, wonderful actors and actresses. Joining us is Judas. That is the, how would you say? Well, he's kind of the star other than Jesus Christ Superstar, but he is the guy who we're seeing the theater event through. And it's Chris Ning is here. As well, we're also joined by Sharon Vandrish, the award-winning musical director, Les Miserables, a bunch of other ones, and is responsible for putting Jesus Christ Superstar together. Chris, thank you so much for being here. I know you're supposed to be at rehearsal, but you're here with us, so I appreciate that. What a challenge and what an honor, both in the same way, to play Judas.
Yeah,
on
definitely.
this production.
Yeah, it's a roller coaster for sure. Very, very challenging role to take on. It's not my first time doing it, but it's definitely a different take on it, and what a human role to play.
Well, Jesus Christ Superstar is totally sung. There's no spoken word, which means for all of you, every single part of it is sung. So you don't have a breath. You go from one song to another song. I mean, how challenging is that?
You got it. I mean, it's kind of what I do, to be honest with you. Like I sing, like that's my whole life. So for me, it feels natural, and you know, I just love doing it. You know.
Now the character of Judas, in some instances, when Jesus Christ Superstar first opened in '71, there was a whole bunch of religious folks that were very upset because it's not a true depiction of the life of Christ, and it's not of the Bible, which it was never meant to be. But some have said that because of the depiction, it's not blasphemy, but at the time it was. I mean, we've grown to understand more what it represents. But still, the character of Judas is a character, you're the bad guy. I mean, it's because of you that eventually Jesus is put on the crucifix.
Yeah.
How hard is that for you to deal with personally, knowing that you're the guy, right, who may have done that?
It's heavy. It's not any like subject matter at all. But I think what's really amazing about this production is being able to play it human, being able to show the emotion behind that struggle, the little demons that kind of creep up on you throughout life. It's a very grounding performance, actually.
So you've been practicing this since January. What are some of the hardest things to remember all those songs, to go through all the costumes changes? Is there one particular scene or thing that was more challenging than the other in this particular production?
I think, not to spoil anything, I mean, it's not really spoiling anything.
No, I think we've all had a chance.
You know, me dying, Judas dying is definitely one of the more difficult things to go through, because, you know, that fear is so real and so visceral, and you can't fake it.
So when you're on stage, and that's a huge point, when you're playing these roles, because it's not just, geez, I have to remember the third song, fourth bar to say this and go here. You, because of practice, and I know, I mean, Sharon is quite the taskmaster, and all her productions show the polish of rehearsal, but you begin to live it after a little while. It becomes part of you almost.
Yeah, definitely. When you can't take it with you, you kind of have to dust yourself off after a performance or rehearsal. Just it can become engulfing. So you just kind of have to let it go when you leave.
That's something we're very conscious too about, being aware that cast members in certain scenes are going to be pulled into the emotion of the moment. And not only do they have to feel safe, but we have to also be able to bring them out of the moment so that they don't leave in some level of, you know, a depressed state. So we have to be very conscious, because when you are in the crucifixion or in his death as well, it's very moving and it's very emotional.
Now, when you deal with anything, I mean, Les Miserables was a fictional story. It was still horrific in so many ways, but to a certain extent we could remove ourselves. And now when we're talking about Jesus Christ Superstar, we're talking about crucifixion. We're talking, I mean, we're in the Holy Week here. We're near Easter. There are so many things we're dear to, so many Catholics, to their heart and to their love for God and Jesus. You have to be so careful the way you treat this, right? How do you use kid gloves to make it work but still entertaining? And you being the bugger of the whole thing. I mean,
I think it just really ties back to realizing that, you know, the stories, they're about humans, they're about people. And I think tying it into being a human and being a person and having real emotion, I think anyone can find something out of this show beyond their religious beliefs.
So when you do your research for a program like this, you have many bases by which that you can use as touch points that have gone on. But you have to make this your own. You can't copy. This is not imitation of karaoke. This is Chris Ning doing his rendition of Judas. How do you inject your own personal interpretation without damaging, let us say, the validity of what the character was supposed to be?
That's such a great question. That's a tough one. I feel like any actor that's doing research is taking little bits and pieces from things from their own life, and they're putting it into that performance. So for me, grabbing memories or things or struggles for me personally into the performance, no one's going to have that same performance ever. You know, you can't.
You're a very empathetic guy. I really like him. I don't want to like him because he's Judas, but I like you. I can see how you can translate on stage. Sharon, give our folks at home a little bit. We want to do the shameless plug because we really want to encourage you to check it out. Tell us where we can get tickets and where we're going to be.
Tickets are on sale at the Rose Theatre box office. You can find out the tickets that are available by going to www.rosetheatre.ca and looking up the calendar for the end of this month. We have 9 public shows, March 31st, the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, and then April 7th, 8th, and 9th. And as we've said already, tickets range from $28 to $35. If you have any questions, you can email us at info@bramptonmusictheatre.com, or actually go to our website, www.bramptonmusictheatre.com.
And I really encourage you to come. Also, don't forget our first guest, Stephen Batella, was about the youth kids troupe. They're doing Beauty and the Beast, May 6th and 7th. We want you to know that as well. And they're casting for West Side Story. So go and see Jesus Christ Superstar. Sharon Vandrish, thank you for joining us.
My
and
pleasure.
Chris Ning. My name's Michael A. Charbon for Brampton Focus. Thanks for watching. Come back soon.